Hello Nigeria, great to be back with you on Newsline. I am Becky Madujemo. Yesterday was Children's Day. Of course, there were activities virtually everywhere to celebrate our future leaders. And from all of us here, happy Children's Day in arrears. By the way, the month of Ramadan is here again. The significance of this holy period of fasting will be re-echoed by some Muslim clerics. Now, during the week that was, members of a community gathered to pray for Mr. President. Watch out for that session. Meanwhile, we are visiting the famous Kaduna market tonight. As a Nigerian, there is a lot you need to know about this center of commerce. In addition to many more, we have weddings and important events by corporate organizations. I will hand over to Joseph Johnson for the news before we proceed with the reports. Happy Sunday, Joseph.
Becky, thank you and happy Sunday to you too. Thanks for joining us on the news. A visit to an internally displaced person's camp at any day and time is touching, but the presence of a certain category of people in such camps makes one even more emotional. Claire Adelabo Abdurazak was at one of the largest IDP camps in Maiduguri, Borno State, and reports that the orphans of Boko Haram are coping with life as they strive to forget the experiences that brought them to where they are.
Ahmed clenches tightly to his two fishes as if his life depends on it. In a way, it does, because it's not often that Ahmed and his friends have fish as part of their meal. But the story is not about Ahmed's fish, the source. At a glance, it would appear that these children are having fun in this pool of muddy water. On a closer look, however, the children are hunting for fish.
It requires a special skill and knowledge to find out where the fish is.
Hard as much as I tried to make a catch, my effort was fruitless. Fishing here would require a special skill mastered only by these children.
We'll fill the ground for where there is hole or there is a kind of dome. Then we'll dig further and then we'll pull out fish if we are lucky.
It's a skill they acquired out of necessity.
Wow.
Ahmed and his friends are among thousands of orphaned and unaccompanied children living in Bakassi camp. 15-year-old Yakura could hardly hold her emotions. In tears, she could only mutter that her family were killed by the insurgents. Here in Bakassi camp, Yakura finds company in other orphans. Already, she's playing big sister to little Gumsi, a comfort one of the youngest orphans here equally craves. His looks betray his emotions. For 3 years, Ibrahim has been separated from his parents, not knowing their whereabouts, dead or alive. Ibrahim's dream of becoming a medical doctor now hangs in the balance. Estimates are that over 70% of internally displaced children in 17 IDP camps in Maiduguri are orphaned or unaccompanied. NEMA records in Bakassi camp alone puts their numbers at 1,503 and 100 from 5 local government areas. The numbers are expected to increase as the military rescues more people from liberated areas. These are the orphans of Boko Haram war, without parents, shoes, clothing, and scarce ration of food. Whatever form of comfort Ahmed and other orphans enjoy here is, however, provided by government, local and international development partners.
There are concerns that if these children, these orphans, these displaced children, are not given the basic formal education that they so well deserved, the Northeast and indeed Nigeria will continue to be a fertile breeding ground for extremism. Progress has been made, but the road to success is still far away. From Bakassi IDP camp here in Borno State, Claire Adelabo Abdurazak, NT News.
Thank you, Claire. Quite an emotional one there, isn't it? Now, we have more on Borno State as we join Muhammad Ali in Maiduguri. Hello, Muhammad. What's the situation where you are at the moment?
Fish market. This is one of the most popular fish markets we have in Maiduguri, and it was a target of attack by the insurgency at the wrath of the insurgency. It was bombed about 3 times, so it was deserted. There was nothing here. And before the insurgency, there was no nightlife here as it is now. But you see, after the insurgency, the success been achieved by the military in fighting the insurgency, the place is now back, and you can see that it's not life. Everybody is here doing their own business. And I have here with me the Commissioner for Information, Borno State, who I want him to tell us more on what is really the situation here. Borno now is now in the past. This place there was no night activities before the insurgency. Now it is. What is the secret?
Yeah, thank you very much. Certainly, there was not only that there were no activities here. In fact, this settlement behind this place we are seeing was the den of Boko Haram. You know, this is where, of course, almost the whole of Maiduguri, you know, they were toting their guns around, they went where they wanted, you know, and they moved around with impunity. But this place, Garanam, was the worst. They had taken over this place. People dare not get in there. They had tunnels, they had armories, they had all sorts of things here, you know. So the fact that you can see activities going on even at well after 9 o'clock in the evening here, you know, is a testimony to the fact that peace and normalcy had largely returned to Maiduguri. And
what are you doing to consolidate on that?
Yes, a lot is being done. First of all, the administration of Governor Kashim Shettima is doing all it could to make sure that people who are in the camps, you know, go back to their homes, ancestral homes, as soon as possible, you know. And the military has done a lot already. You know, many of the communities have been liberated and people are now ready to go back. We are reconstructing.
So what assurance do you have to the people and other Nigerians?
Yeah, obviously we are doing. In fact, we had initially targeted the 29th of May, the end of this month, for people to go back home. But we had to review the situation because of the Ramadan fast and because of other issues, because we liaise with the military at all times. And so now we recognize that we cannot do that. But I can assure Nigerians that with the effort that the military is putting in making sure that normalcy has returned, security has returned to all the staff.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So this is Maiduguri at night. Everything is normal and there is life, there is everything, and you can see behind. Joseph Johnson, that's the situation here. Thank you, and over to you in the studio.
Thank you. That was Muhammad Ali reporting from Maiduguri. And now let's get to some of the other stories making news today. Acting President Yemi Osinbajo says the nation requires men and women that can make sacrifices to make her great again. The acting president stated this at an interdenominational church service in Abuja to mark 2017 Democracy Day. Edino Justice reports that this year's theme is "The Dry Bone Shall Live Again."
The president, who took his text from Luke chapter 10 verse 30 to 37, stressed that the challenges facing the nation now demand people who truly love the country with passion, that can stand against corruption and fight with integrity.
The story of the Good Samaritan is a story not how this certain man got beaten up and how his goods were stolen. When we look at our country also, the fact that our country fell in the state that it was is not the story. The story is about how different people react when they see the bruised, the injured, and the dying man. May not even be people of note, but they are prepared to make the sacrifice. They're prepared to sacrifice something for this nation. They're prepared to do something that will help this nation. They are found everywhere. Teachers, doctors, young graduates, some with jobs and some without jobs. There are men and women in this nation who will not walk past the nation and just pray that all will go well. They are prepared to make the sacrifice that will make the nation great.
Speaker House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara took the second scripture reading from Romans chapter 12, verse 9 to 21.
Be careful to do what is right in the eyes of everyone.
The guest speaker, Apostle Sunday Popola, preaching on the theme, "The dry bones shall live again," said Nigeria, built on divine structure, shall not fail if the citizens will, in humility, have a change to a right attitude. There were prayers for quick recoveries for President Muhammadu Buhari, healing of the nation, peace and security, and victory over internal aggression. Different choirs led the congregation in hymns and praises. From the National Christian Center, Abuja, Edino Justice, NTA News.
To the legislature, where Senate President Abubakar Bukola Saraki has called for concerted and united effort by all Nigerians to build a strong economy as a means of sustaining the nation's democracy. This was contained in a statement by his special advisor on media and publicity, Yusuf Olaniyonu, to commemorate the 2017 Democracy Day celebration. Meanwhile, Speaker Yakubu Dogara has called the All Progressives Congress APC administration of President Muhammadu Buhari high as it marks its second year in office, saying many commendable achievements have been recorded within the period. The Speaker also congratulated President Buhari, Acting President Yemi Osinbajo, state governors and the entire leadership and all Nigerians for the 18 years of democracy in the country and second anniversary of the administration. The Director General National Orientation Agency, Garba Abari, says democracy remains the best form of government for Nigeria, given the nation's unique composition, history and international relevance. The DGNOA stated this in a congratulatory message to Nigerians on the 2017 Democracy Day, which marks 18 years of unbroken democratic governance in Nigeria. The Director General urged Nigerians to use the 2017 Democracy Day to recommit themselves to their civic duty by participating fully in electoral processes, because free and fair elections are the foundations of any true democracy. Now, Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas says the Nigerian Navy remains unwavering in its determination to protect the territorial borders of the country. He said this during the interdenominational church service to celebrate the Nigerian Navy Week, held at All Saint Military Church, Mogadishu Cantonment, Abuja. It has been 61 years of onward together for the Nigerian Navy, a milestone that is being celebrated across Nigeria. Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Ibas, accompanied by his wife and representatives of paramilitary agencies as well as government functionaries, led officers and men of the Nigerian Navy for the Thanksgiving service. In his message, Commander Babajide Ajayi admonished Christians to beware of spiritual leprosy, which he described as an impediment to the eternal crown of glory.
We need to behave like a family. We need to behave like one. We need to love ourselves.
Vice Admiral Ibas recounted the success stories of the Navy, adding that it has contributed immensely in the collective economic well-being of the nation.
We do know that we still have a lot to do, and it's our commitment, to ensure that we provide a secure maritime environment to enable the nation prosper.
We want to thank God for the Navy, that it has accomplished so much in 61 years, and as they say, happy sailing, onward together.
Prayers were offered for the Nigerian Navy, quick recovery of President Muhammadu Buhari and the country. The Buhari-led administration has finally brought an end to the series of mind-boggling fraud and scandals around the issue of pensions. The senior special assistant to the president, Garba Shehu, made the disclosure while speaking on an interactive radio program, Hanu Dawa, on the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, Kaduna Center, to commemorate the second anniversary of the Muhammadu Buhari administration. The report.
The Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate, PTAD, which introduced a number of innovative measures over the past 2 years, with the introduction of the automation of pension payment processes, among other innovations. The senior special assistant added that the bank verification number BVN policy has also been implemented in the pension scheme, with over 103,000 civil service pensioners verified, including pensioners' records also digitalized for secure archiving, with the thousands of old physical pension folders converted to e-files. He explained in the interactive program that the federal government has enforced a new level of commitment to the welfare of pensioners and retirees, with the Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate, PTAD, creating an automated and centrally administered complaints management process with a dedicated call center that receives and treats over 200 calls on a daily basis. Malam Garba Shehu stated that in contrast to the past, when a record number of pensioners died on queues trying to get their rights, the new arrangement ensures that the pensioners are attended to with utmost care, provided a conducive atmosphere for verification, food and water, as well as wheelchairs for those who have mobility challenges. Infirmed pensioners are verified at their homes or hospitals. He disclosed that the Buhari administration also directed the release of 54 billion naira towards the settlement of inherited and current liabilities to federal government retirees under the contributory pension scheme. President Buhari, he said, has further directed that regular monthly remittances be made into the Retirement Benefits Bond Redemption Fund with the Central Bank of Nigeria to ensure that the continuity of timely payment of benefits of retirees is ensured. He also stated that under the present dispensation, Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate, PTAD, saved 5.7 billion naira through the efficient administration of the pensions, parastatals and universities, as well as pension assets increased from 4.96 trillion naira in June 2015 to 6.42 trillion naira as at March 2017, indicating a growth of over 29%. He assured that the government of President Muhammadu Buhari will continue to ensure the strengthening and accountability of PTAD, stressing that the reform carried out by the administration in the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has brought respect to Nigerians' international travelers who now face less harassment at airports outside the country. Malam Garba Shehu said, under the present administration, the NDLEA has seized more than 1 million kilograms of various drugs, destroyed about 110,000 hectares of drug farms, and arrested 17,000 suspected drug dealers. He announced that so far, about 5,000 persons have been convicted since the Buhari administration came to office.
Patriotism, integrity and self-reliance are core values Nigerian youths must imbibe to build the nation. This was in a message by Acting President Professor Yemi Osinbajo to the conference I Am a Nigerian in Abuja. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday tells us more.
It is a convergence of youth of different educational levels drawn from all parts of the country. Political education and mentoring for young Nigerians to guarantee the future of the country where citizens are prepared for roles and positions brought about the projects.
For the acting president and those of us.
Acting President Yemi Osinbajo was represented by one of his assistants at the forum.
If we remain as Nigerians, we have a better chance of prosperity. We have a better chance at development. We have a better chance of building a reputation in this world that will be far exceeding.
Motivational and inspirational speakers took turns to equip the youth with necessary tools for a better future.
Look out for a political party of your choice that speaks to issues that concerns you and join. Don't just join. Participate. Participation cannot be enough, but organize.
With passion, purpose, excellence, integrity, credibility, God, everything is possible.
A book, Project One Nigeria, written by the convener, was presented to the public.
So we're going to be mentoring young Nigerians. We're going to be taking them through the process so that when there's going to be movement from the current and past leaders to us, there is going to be a smooth transition.
Young people can begin to spend more time, invest time in their closet, in libraries, in research centers.
If the youth are given more chances in everything which they've done, definitely Nigeria is going far.
One day, and the day is now, this day, they will have to come up with these ideas and make them visualize and materialize them.
Designer of the national flag, Pa Michael Taiwo Akenkumi, was honored at the event. Adebola, Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
Provision of shelter for internally displaced persons and returnees in Yobe State is the new focus in the humanitarian intervention by the National Commission on Refugees, Migrants and Displaced Persons. The humanitarian aid consisting of assorted building materials were presented to the Yobe State government by the Federal Commissioner Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk. Mohamed Musa Askira reports.
Efforts by security forces, governmental and humanitarian organizations have significantly impacted on the lives of the internally displaced persons and other victims of the Boko Haram insurgency in Yobe State. The National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons has continued to sustain the temper of its humanitarian activities in support of the victims of the Boko Haram wars-affected areas. These supports have enabled most of the IDPs to return to their communities to start a new life in the now peaceful areas. In this phase of intervention, the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons has provided materials for the construction of shelter to assist the victims have a roof on their heads. The building materials comprise about 1,000 of assorted nails, hundreds of bags of cement, roofing materials and construction making equipment and variety of woods with termite control chemical. The items were presented to the Yobe State IDPs Resettlement, Reconstruction and Rehabilitation Committee by the Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk.
This is part of our own support to the recovery plan of the Northeast. We've brought with us some shelter materials what the federal government of Nigeria, under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari.
The Federal Commissioner had commended the Yobe State government for efficient and successful distribution of relief materials donated previously by the Commission to the target beneficiaries in the state. Mohamed Musa Askira, NTA News.
Let's talk sports now. NTA in second position at NUJ Chinese Embassy table tennis competition as Zambia and Senegal in second round of FIFA Under-20 World Cup in South Korea after 91 goals scored in 66 matches at the group stage. Amanzi Marcus tells us more.
Thanks for staying on the line. Now, if I say that the marketplace is a major arena for the promotion of peace, unity and harmony in this country, you may wonder how. Benito Adams in Kaduna will explain. He will use the Kaduna Central Market, known as the Sheikh Abubakar Mahmoud Gumi Central Market, as reference point.
My right and more to my left is the Abubakar Mahmoud Gumi Central Market, located in the heart of Kaduna. This market has been established many decades before now. It is about the largest market in northern Nigeria. And this market accommodates people from different walks of life, people from diverse culture, ethnic and religious backgrounds. How have they been able to cohabit as they buy and sell in this market?
The
Sheikh Abubakar Mahmoud Gumi Central Market is a microcosm of a mini Nigeria, and by extension Africa, where people come from as far as Niger, Senegal, Cameroon, among other countries, to meet their counterparts who hail from all the nooks and crannies of Nigeria, all for a single purpose of transacting one business or the other, mostly buying and selling of goods and services. With this diversity in mind, how do Abubakar relate with Obinna, Oramat, and Madam Chinyere?
It's only in the market here that you can see the Igbo man, the Hausa man, the Yoruba man, all converge together, discuss and do some kind of business together.
I was born and brought up in the north. I have spent almost, more than 90% of my life in the north. The north is a very peaceful place, honestly.
I see Igbo people in the market, but she just saw something that is fine, that catches her fancy. She enter my shop and buy. So that brings unity for us. You understand? So in the market, we have a lot of, it brings people together. Provided somebody see what you are selling and you have manners to welcome them, they will enter and they will buy.
For Malam Suraja Swaibu, a former market leader, he started trading in the market in the mid-70s. Then he remembers how he travels to the eastern part of the country to sell farm produce, and in return will buy fabrics beyond the amount he sold his goods with trust to pay back after sales. His Igbo counterpart will still travel down to Kaduna with more fabrics without asking for a dime until after sales. The clarion call here is, inasmuch as the teeth gets to bite the tongue, they still live together as good companions in the mouth.
It could double as a tourist center. If you ever find yourself in Kaduna, you know where to go. Moving on, World Bank Index on the ease of doing business rates Nigeria low. Taking this very seriously, the federal government swung into action to reduce to the barest minimum all bottlenecks impeding the business environment in Nigeria. Being a major gateway into the country, we visited the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos to assess the level of implementation of government's policy objective. Viera Chimumba is our guide.
The current administration, in line with its economic policy objectives, is repositioning the Nigerian economy to attract foreign and local investors. This effort is being driven by the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, following the executive order by the Vice President on promotion of transparency in the business environment. The nation's gateway, the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, is witnessing innovation. It is evident with the establishment of the Ease of Doing Business Office, immigration visa on arrival, with harmonized departure and arrival for Nigerians and non-Nigerians.
They do everything quickly until now that we will receive the visa for us.
They don't waste our time, just 5 minutes and everything's gone.
In addition, Murtala Mohammed International Airport now has a one-stop processing point where security agencies simultaneously share information in line with the National Facilitation Committee objectives.
If a flight is departing from Dubai and it's coming to Nigeria, so all the souls on board, all the carrier services, whatever is carrying there is on the system because the airlines have it. So the airlines share it with the National Facilitation Committee. So immigration can access it, custom can access it.
Though security has been reinvigorated, touting facilitation of passengers and movement of persons around the airport are still challenging. However, an aviation stakeholder said attracting foreign direct investment to the sector implies airports operating 24 hours and streamlining charges regime. Others include recapitalizing domestic airlines designated to fly international routes to utilize their frequencies, in addition to provision of landing aids.
We have to go back to the drawing board, amend the establishment laws to remove those duplicated charges so that we have a streamlined charging regime. We need to look at the entire legal framework in the aviation industry.
The consensus is that with effective implementation of the executive order, the present national revenue generation will improve beyond its present stage, with Nigeria taking its rightful position in the global economic relations.
Another critical area of attention is attitudinal change among those personnel and agents who are delivering public services to Nigerians. This is to ensure quality service. Otherwise, this effort will amount to taking one step forward and many steps backwards.
Indeed, the wind of positive change is blowing across the nation, and no sector will be left behind. We are in the holy months of Ramadan. Muslims the world over began the mandatory month-long fast only yesterday. In this report, Musa Toliat sheds light on fasting in the month of Ramadan and what is expected of Muslims.
Ramadan fast is the fourth pillar on which Islam is built, and this spiritual exercise is carried out in the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. Fasting in this month is compulsory for every free and sane adult Muslim. The month of Ramadan, like every other month in Islam, is ushered in when the crescent signifying the beginning of the month is sighted.
Prophet Musa says, that you fast when the moon is sighted, and you stop fasting when the month of Shawwal is also sighted.
Ahead of the commencement of the fast, scholars admonish the faithful to adhere strictly to prophetic traditions when preparing for the holy month.
They must prepare in terms of, setting, target for the month of Ramadan. What do they want to do? What do they want to achieve? So that the month of Ramadan, in terms of the worship of Allah, will be different from the other months.
It's about psychological preparation, that I'm embarking on a 1-month training. You have to have what we call intellectual knowledge, intellectual preparation. You must know what you must do as somebody who is fasting, what you must not do, what is accepted, what is not accepted.
Although this spiritual exercise is an obligatory act in Islam, there are those exempted from fasting.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala intends for us ease, not difficulties. Those who are not well cannot be asked to fast, but they must be sincere to Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala.
You must be healthy when it comes into your physical system. Then you must be healthy in your brain, and you must be healthy in your soul. You must not put anything in that soul that is a vice against other fellow human beings.
If you are going on a journey that is very strenuous, you don't fast. If you have just given birth to a baby, you don't fast. If you are menstruating, you don't fast. You feed one poor person per day to atone for that day you have missed the fasting.
For those who choose to default without any health challenge, the penalty is severe.
Allah says, for you to fast is better for you if you indeed but no. And he says if you deliberately refuse to fast, it says no other number of days will be able to atone for it.
Ramadan is not a gift. If you miss one, you have to repay it. If you deliberately stop one and void it, then it means we are going to repay it with 60 days.
This fast commences with the pre-dawn meal known as sahur, while sunset marks the termination of the day's fast, first with fruits or water. This is called iftar.
And to all our Muslim friends watching, we say Ramadan Kareem. Next up, they know it is the right thing to do because when it is well with the head, it will be well with the rest of the body. So the people of Ibagwanike in Enugu State did the needful when they converged to pray for the speedy recovery of President Muhammadu Buhari. Chinenye Nwoye reports that this took place when NTA's Executive Director, Administration and Training, Dr. Steve Ego, paid homage to the traditional ruler of the community.
The traditional ruler of Ibagwanike community, Igwe Emmanuel Uguhu, prayed for divine healing on President Muhammadu Buhari and joined Nigerians to work collectively for the unity of the country. He also advised Nigerians to seize the opportunity of the ongoing voter registration to obtain their voters' card to ensure they participate actively in the 2019 general elections.
Father, we pray that even as we all believe in his administration, and believe, O God, that you sent him forth in order to change the face of this nation.
Executive Director, Administration and Training, NTA Headquarters, Abuja, Dr. Steve Ebu, said the Nigerian Television Authority, as the window of the nation and a bridge builder, is working very hard to present a positive image of the country, which President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration has pursued vigorously. He pointed out that NTA is building a partnership aimed at creating a more functional and effective society.
We have worked very hard to present a positive image. His Excellency the President commends us to let you know that Muhammadu Buhari as a man and his government is a friend of the Igbo people.
The executive director, who was in Enugu for the opening of the NTA National Auditors Conference, was accompanied on the visit by the Director, Internal Audit, and some management staff of NTA Enugu Network Center.
Yes, we say amen to those prayers. Moving on, we will unveil corporates and social events who did what, when, and where. Stay on the line while we'll take a break for these messages.
God will damage you with blessings. The wisdom we God give you when you take the find all these places where they serve better food. You know, I will give Solomon wow.
Thank you, sir. I submitted formula for enjoyment. Well, pass every other apprentice for this place.
Yes, sir. If anybody see fish and say it go better for you, that person they blind though. Because yesterday, today, and your future now they chop so
Put now enough with this one. Now here is the place they give me 4 times waiting I buy. Isaka, I get it, sir.
Hey, Isaka, come back here.
Introducing Glow Formula. Get 4 times your recharge to make local and international calls. Text and browse. To recharge, dial *323 *PIN# to enjoy 4 times.
Wow.
The largest data network. Glow Unlimited.
Everyday air. Ordinary air. And then there's TomTom Air. There's air, and then there's TomTom Air. What are you breathing? New TomTom 5-piece pack.
On your way home, something fascinating happens in the shop. Wow, what's that? A tasty fruit drink shines. It's in a pouch, but not a normal pouch. It's the fascinating Capri-Sun pouch. It's great to handle and easy to use for everyone. Capri-Sun brings the real fun to drinking. Put the straw in and the fascination continues. Capri-Sun, naturally fun.
House of
I can't believe she just rejected me and my camera.
She rejected my lights. How can she not want makeup?
Maybe when the battery dies, she'll come back to us.
Nah, not with a 4,000 milliampere battery.
Experience the best selfies of your life. Gioni A1 Super Selfie Super Battery.
Chewing gum neutralizes bad odor. It doesn't just disguise them, it gives you real minty breath.
Welcome back. 200 youths have benefited from a free 5-day enterprise and skill training program organized by Fidelity Bank PLC in partnership with Gazelle Academy. Franklin Oyekachi reports that the training exercise, which held at Federal Polytechnic Oko in Anambra State, was the third in the series to be organized by the bank.
The 200 trainees were earlier inducted into the Fidelity Youth Empowerment Academy, which is aimed at empowering the Nigerian undergraduates with vocational skills and enterprise training for self-reliance. Having been trained for 5 days, the youth exhibited their wares in areas such as embellishments, fashion accessories, shoemaking, cocktail and makeup, amongst others. The managing director of Fidelity Bank PLC, Nnamdi Okonkwo, represented, said the desire to give back to the society informed the exercise.
The shoes, the clothing materials, the makeups, they're all fantastic. This is the end of the program, but this is the beginning of the success.
The rector of Federal Polytechnic Oko, represented by the deputy rector academics, expressed appreciation to the bank for selecting the Polytechnic for the third phase of the program.
This is a demonstration of what a typical NID and VEI classroom should be, where the students will be exposed to the skills. They will acquire the skills, and then from there they can move on.
The Anambra State Commissioner for Youth Entrepreneurship and Sports Development, represented by the ministry's Chief Youth Development Officer, said meaningful engagement of the youth is key to a peaceful environment.
I want to thank the Fidelity Bank for kind of helping government and helping Anambra State to catch our youth. Nigerian youth, they're very resilient and creative from what you could see them do. You know, they created all of those things. They made all of those things. There's nothing the mind cannot do if you tell it that you can.
When I saw the half cocktail category, I was kind of, okay, let me come and bring out the best I can.
I am bold now to say that I am proud to be a fashion designer, not just a tailor, as people will say.
Students who emerged best in their areas of skill acquisition in this third phase were presented with gifts, while FPO Ventures, a platform owned by the school that will ensure continuity of the program, received industrial sewing and weaving machines and other accessories.
In order to provide an avenue and the right atmosphere for stress-free transactions, Muka Limited, a company known for the manufacturing of high-quality mattresses and pillows, has put in place a structure. Annie Daniels reports that the company inaugurated a customer service center in Lagos during the week to make doing business easy.
Thank you very much.
That was the official unveiling of the Mocha Limited Customer Service Center. Management of Mocha say the world-class service center with its high-tech facilities will enhance the company's service delivery.
That our customers will either be ordering in advance online, or if they prefer to come directly to our customer service center, we will have touch screen technology in place where they'll actually be able to process the orders themselves.
It has very well-trained customer service personnel to deliver orders, in a very timely, efficient manner. With your mobile devices, you can place an order for a mattress and it will be delivered to you if you put in all the right details.
We do issue resolution, we manage inquiries from customers or consumers, and at the same time, we're able to track all these issues relating to the customer so that it helps us backtrack to do quality improvements either in our process or in our product.
Mocha Limited has been in existence for over 40 years. In the company's desire to achieve more success and efficiency, Mocha Limited chose former Minister of Communications and Technology, Dr. Omobola Johnson, as its new board chairperson.
Dr. Omobola Johnson brings 30 wonderful years of both private and public sector experience in Nigeria. She'll bring that to bear on our board.
With production facilities in several states of the Federation, the company's distributors applauded it for this step, aimed at adding value to their business.
This is what we've been yearning for. We distributors, sometimes when we come, we stay under the canopy, we stay everywhere, but the current management has listened to our cry. Mocha is best one. It's best.
Mocha Limited, officials of the company say, has a leading market share in household and industrial foam market in Nigeria and the ECOWAS sub-region.
The board and management of FBN Holdings PLC has declared a 20 kobo share dividend to shareholders of the company, with a promise to remain resilient and be on top in the banking industry in Nigeria. This assurance was given at the 5th annual general meeting of the company in Lagos. Emel Dori, who captured the highlights of that event, compiled this report.
The oldest banking institution
what we would like to describe as a national icon representative of the Nigerian state.
Consistent with its vision of becoming a leading Middle Africa financial service organization, FBN Holdings PLC has continued to put smile on the faces of its shareholders. The company's performance in 2016 was measured by its sharp focus on efficiency and collaboration across all its operating companies spread beyond the shores of Africa. Notwithstanding the challenges that confronted the banking sector in 2016, management of the bank says the company was able to post a 15.7% increase in its gross earnings, closing the year at 582 billion naira. Profit before tax rose to 22.9 billion naira from 21.6 billion naira.
We continue to be much above the liquidity prescription of the central bank. Our bank is very resilient and strong.
The commercial bank did not remit dividend to the holding company, and they recorded profits of about 50 billion. But by that effort, we saw an inching up in the capital adequacy ratio at the commercial bank to 17.8%.
We're focused on our goals. We've set an agenda for ourselves, and as an institution, we have kept according to the plan.
With such performance, shareholders have every reason to be optimistic of higher returns on their investment.
The bank has done a lot in terms of modernizing the bank towards the fast money, other mobile money products.
The bank is able to pay 20 kobo, doubling what was paid last year.
Positioning itself for growth, FBN Holdings PLC, its management says, is confident that its sound governance structure and resilient business model will continue to push the company forward to meet the aspirations of its shareholders in the years ahead.
To weddings now, it is usually pleasing when a relationship between a man and a woman that culminates in marriage gets the consent of their parents. This was exactly the situation when Chebuka and Oyeb declared their intention to be man and wife. Chebuka is the son of a former director of the NTA, Uche Owanwu. Chidimma Undubisi was at the ceremony, and here are the highlights.
The marriage of the couple is for better, for best, for richer, for abundance, in soundness and in health. This was the exhortation as Chebuka Owanwu and Oyem Misang Ibok exchanged marital vows before God, relatives and friends at the Mountain of Fire and Miracles Ministries, Otako, Abuja.
I pledge you my trust.
I pledge you my trust.
So help me God.
So help me God.
To love, cherish, till death do us part.
The officiating minister charged the couple to live in meekness as it's the master key to a successful marriage.
Every meek man is the head of the family. He understands the family. He loves the family. Wife, submit yourself unto your own husband.
After being pronounced husband and wife, Mr. and Mrs. Chebuka Owanwu performed their first role as a couple to the delight of their family members and well-wishers.
Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost.
The parents expressed confidence in their children's decision to form a new home.
It's a great day for me, being alive, to see my son, did exactly what I did some years back.
My prayer for them is that the crisis in marriages this season or this period will not be their own portion.
My prayer is peace. My prayer is happiness. My prayer is fruitfulness.
The couple lets us in on what attracted them to each other.
He's fun to be with. He's my friend. He's interesting. He's funny.
I'm really grateful having him in my life, and I pray God will continue to bless our union.
Lovely couple, may your union be blessed. The colors of the day were yellow and white. Happiness filled the air, and the joy of the families of Banire and Adedoyin was transparent. Why not? Their children had brought them joy by deciding to take the bold step into matrimony. The marriage ceremony took place in Ibadan, and here's how Shola Wahid captured the highlights.
The wedding of Ifedolapo and Adeshina was a celebration of tradition and color. The love that radiates between the two lovebirds was the icing for the Banere and Adedoyin families in the union of their children. Parents and dignitaries from far and near, including the Minister of Information and Culture, Lahi Mohammed, and Director General NTA, both represented by Zonal Director NTA by the Network Center, Jennifer Famosipe, gave their words of advice.
Love each other, appreciate each other, and endure and persevere.
Through perseverance and through love and understanding, they will be able to weather the storm.
The two of them have to cooperate. Just wish them all the best in their marital life. God will go with them.
Wherever they remember us as a parent, they should just be saying amen, 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 because we continue to pray for them.
They must take decision together. They must respect themselves.
Must find a way to have peace, patience, and communication within them.
And I wish them that they will live together happily as couple. If they take to the advice of their parents and the example of how their parents have lived, I'm very sure by God's grace that they will have a very successful life.
And the new couple shared their thoughts.
Spiritual, respectful, and he's just a good woman all around.
I just see him as a man of honor, and I'm glad that he's my husband.
The grand reception was a perfect dance floor for Mr. and Mrs. Adedoyin in the presence of well-wishers.
We wish the couple happiness, peace and prosperity as they journey through life together. In the next segment, some unscrupulous people still manage to smuggle rice into the country in defiance of government's efforts to curb the trend. Stay on the line to find out where. Let's take another break.
From what we have seen, we have the capacity which we can rapidly develop or feed in ourselves. If we don't import rice, we stop importing corn and other grains. Nigeria will have plenty of money to invest into developing industries, especially manufacturing, textiles and so on, and develop iron and steel, and complement the infrastructure development. So really, the opportunities are virtually limitless, and we are very, very aware of this, and we are prepared to exploit it to the fullest.
الصدقات للفقراء والمساكين والعاملين عليها والمؤلفة قلوبهم وفي الرقاب والغارمين.
The management of the Nigeria Television Authority NTA, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria FRCN, and Voice of Nigeria VON cordially invites the Muslim Ummah and the general public to the 12th annual Ramadan lecture, which will inshallah take place on Saturday, 3rd June 2017 at Lumana Multipurpose Center, River Road, off Jabi Road East, off Sultan Road, Ngwarimi Jare, Kaduna, by 9 a.m. Topic of discuss: ongoing charity in Islam, to be delivered by Sheikh Dr. Isa Ali Pantami, Director General NIDA. Chief host, His Excellency Malan Nasir Ahmad Erufai, Executive Governor, Kaduna State. The Minister of Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, will be the special guest of honor, and His Royal Highness Alhaji Dr. Shehu Usman Musa III, Emir of Kefi, will be the chairman of the occasion. Host, Malam Yakubu Muhammad, the Director General NTA, Malam Mansur Liman, Director General FRCN, and Dr. Osita Kechuku, Director General VON. You are welcome. Announcer, Organizing Committee.
it is with joy that I've received Our Excellency's gifts.
I want to say that may God continue to bless and reward her, and so on behalf of Garki Hospital, we are grateful.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
NAFDAC as an agency is indeed doing so much to protect the health of our nation. I urge everyone to support NAFDAC in ridding the country of fake drugs and unwholesome products.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Is a very laudable achievement on the part of the federal government and state governments. Since the commencement of the program, the children are really doing fine. The vendors are wonderful. In fact, they are doing a good job. They usually come to school on time. They serve the children, they serve the puppies. The program has really helped the children because there are some puppies, they don't have access to balanced diet. With the commencement of this program, many lives have been touched. To have easy access to balanced diet, it has really helped the children a lot.
Have you back. We all know that the federal and state governments are taking giant strides to ensure that Nigerians patronize made in Nigeria products. In the area of foodstuff, government is encouraging local cultivation of rice, which Nigerians are encouraged to consume. The federal government went a step further to ban the importation of rice. However, die-hard smugglers still find a way to import the produce through porous land borders. As I speak, foreign rice flood Nigerian markets. Mohammed Kolo reports on the importation of rice at Ilela, a border town in Sokoto.
Nigeria is a major consumer and importer of rice due to the fact that it is a staple food in the country. Nigeria spends more than 356 billion naira yearly importing rice, out of which about 1 billion naira is spent daily. The country today is a net importer of rice, which adversely affects local production. Rice can be grown in all parts of the country and all species thrive, from lowland, upland to Fadama rice, yet only a little above 4 million tons is grown locally, which is grossly disproportionate to the about 7 million tons required annually. Government, in its efforts to close the gap between production and demand, placed a ban on land rice importation and introduced policies that will boost rice production. This is a typical market day at the border town of Ilela, Sokoto State, one of the places where rice is suspected to be imported through land. 38-year-old Zayana Mohammed deals in imported rice at the Ilela International Border Market. He, however, claims ignorance of the executive order on the ban on rice importation through land.
It's a matter of choice because most people prefer the foreign rice, and I don't think importation hinders farmers' productivity.
59-year-old Abubakar Kurel, a rice farmer, holds a different view.
Of stopping of importing rice from outside countries that the federal government has approved is good, and it gives encouragement to farmers, to our farmers, to stand up and cultivate more for the use of our community in the country.
This rice is believed to be brought in from foreign countries through the Ilela border. And if one stays late into the night like we did, suspected movements of rice smugglers using the dark as cover can be seen. Here at the Ilela International Border Market, it goes beyond the border crossing. It is also a lot more about the melting pot of commerce, cultural exchange in different products brought here from different places using different modes of transportation, from mechanical, biological, a combination of both, and even physically. While trans-border trade in legal goods and services are okay, the ones in illicit or contraband, such as rice smuggling, are those that hamper government's efforts towards making the country self-sufficient in food.
Can assist the authorities by snubbing foreign rice. Besides, our grains are healthier because they are organic. Let's discourage smuggling. Now, they say a prophet is not recognized in his own home has been proven otherwise by the Nri community in Anaucha local government area of Anambra State. Members of the community organized a grand reception to honor their daughter and wife, Senator Uche Ekunefe, for what they term her penchant for doing good. Ngozi Okafor reports.
The occasion, which began with a holy mass, attracted highly placed politicians irrespective of party affiliations, thronging the St. Mary's Catholic Church Nri to identify with a woman loved by her community and cherished by her constituency for developmental achievements during her sojourn in the National Assembly of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Catholic Bishop of Awka Diocese, Most Reverend Paulinus Okafor's prayer was that of God's sustenance for Uche Ekunefe to do even more for her people.
She has been able to make some contributions, and it also is a call to continue to do something.
With church service over, the grand reception was witnessed by former Vice President of Nigeria, Dr. Alex Ekweme, and wife Ifoma, Anambra State government, represented by Deputy Governor Dr. Nkem Okeke, Senator Godswill Akpabio, who represented the Senate President Bukola Saraki, past and present state governors, serving and former members of a National Assembly.
So for me, she has been able to bring about effective representation. Iyom is still a very solid politician any day, and she has numerous admirers and followers.
Aside her outstanding impact as a politician, the husband, Larry Ekunefe, says he has a complete wife in Uche, while the traditional ruler of her community, Eze Obidiegwu Onyeso, bestowed her with a title of Anyanwu Nri, which translates to the sun in Nri.
Her political career hasn't retarded her homely duties. She still cooks for me and the children, you understand, despite her tight schedules.
She is our rising sun, she is our star, she is our all and all. This community.
Senator Uche Ekunefe, or Iyom, going by her traditional title, was full of appreciation for the recognition.
This is the first time this Nri Kingdom will be singling out one person to honor. I served my people well. I had more interest in the global interest when I was in the National Assembly, and I still have that general interest than personal interest. And I'm happy my people are appreciating it.
To the senator. Moving on, fear is a feeling that people have when in danger or frightened. However, everybody or almost everybody harbors secret fears of things they perceive could happen. In this case, they are not in any form of danger yet. Is this healthy? Can such fear be managed? Are there implications? Maiduguri is the one who went to seek answers. Here's how she compiled her findings.
By the threat of danger or pain. It is also described as something that causes anxiety. Dr. Uzo Israel is a clinical psychologist.
Fear is considered an instinct or a primitive emotion by some theorists. A primitive emotion in that one is born with the ability to fear. That is the impression that creates. So it is both a physiological mechanism and a psychological one.
We may have heard or seen people express their fears for the unforeseen and unknown. This primitive feeling, according to psychologists, has many components, ranging from physiological to biological and psychological. Fear, they say, can be exhibited by an individual as rational and in some cases irrational expressions. This determines whether or not it is healthy for one to fear. But why do people fear, and what is it that they fear most?
I fear because I don't know what may happen.
I'm afraid of how my tomorrow will be.
I don't like darkness.
I fear for spiritual things a lot.
I have fears of losing those I love. I don't be afraid of death.
Is it possible that there are people who do not express fear in any way?
I don't fear. I won't let me afraid.
Can this be true? And why is it so?
I will die one day, so I don't see any reason why I should be afraid of.
It's a part of the brain that when it's damaged, people may not experience fear, and so they can get into avoidable danger.
Do the things people fear most ever manifest?
No. It does not manifest.
Yes, it does.
A lot of times.
Most of the times, they are just something in our imagination, you know, that we have in our minds, and we just think or assume that's how it's going to happen.
What do the holy books say about fear?
Quran chapter 2 verse 3, Allah says, "Alladhina yu'minuna bil-ghayb," those who believe in what you are not seeing. Alladhina yu'minuna bil-ghayb wa yu'tuna az-zakat, and they are giving from what Allah give them. Ulaika humul muflihun, those are on the right path.
God is saying, fear not. And it's in 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7, the Bible says, "For I have not given you the spirit of fear, but of love, of power, and of a sound mind."
The psychologist says fear can lead a person to do unimaginable things.
It can hinder people from fully living their lives or exploring their full potentials. So fear has different consequences for different people. In some people, it can lead to insomnia. They don't sleep well at night.
When this red light comes on, what should the person do?
Breathing exercises, that's one of them. Relaxation exercises like deep muscle relaxation. These are also some of the ways by which we can, take care of them. And then we have what we call cognitive behavioral therapy. These are professional ways by which fear can also be handled.
It is true that one cannot totally conquer fear. But when one is confronted with it, he should try to control the situation surrounding it to avoid damages.
And I must say, facing your fears is one way of getting over them. And thanks for that piece, Ime. Running off nicely, we'll take the last commercial break and be right back for what's next. Stay on the line.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria, unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Welcome back. In layman's terms, meningitis is a disease that affects the brain and can lead to death. How does this disease present? What is the cause, the risk factors, prevention, treatment, and possible cure? Lee Leneke reports.
Medical experts define meningitis as an acute inflammation of the protective membranes covering the brain and spinal cord.
The most protected organ of the body.
So you have the skull, the vertebrae protecting it, and also you have the membranes. So any inflammation of these membranes is what they refer to as meningitis.
The inflammation, they say, could be as a result of infection with viruses, bacteria, or other microorganisms. They say meningitis can be life-threatening because of inflammation's proximity to the brain and spinal cord. Therefore, it is classified as medical emergency.
The symptoms are clear. You have people with fever, with a headache, with neck stiffness. On examination, they realize that they can, if you turn their neck, they can bend their knee. So there's so many things to look out for. And like we say, every fever is not malaria.
In children, the signs are irritability, drowsiness, and poor appetite.
Now, the commonest age group for meningitis is between the ages of 5 and 10, and then you have another one from like 19 to 24. And so these are the people we will need to be very, very careful. And then for people who are immunocompromised.
Medical experts say if not properly treated, can lead to serious long-term consequences, such as deafness, epilepsy, kidney failure, and memory loss. Is the disease treatable?
The type A, B, and C, and then the AC135, they have one of the most effective vaccines against them.
Every doctor should please, once you have somebody with that kind of symptoms, even before waiting for the result, start treatment with antibiotics. Because if not, you're going to have fatality in your hand in 48 to 72 hours.
Vaccination against the disease, according to experts, and proper personnel and environmental hygiene are major preventive measures. Here are some tips for preventing meningitis.
Avoid overcrowded areas and avoid sharing spoons or utensils that are in contact with oral secretions.
It always boils down to prevention. I hope you found that informative. The remains of Madam Patricia Aneni, wife of former chairman, Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Chief Anthony Aneni, have been laid to rest in Uromi, Edo State. This was preceded by a funeral mass at St. Anthony's Catholic Church, Uromi. Kelvin Ewunayi reports that former President Dr. Goodluck Jonathan was among dignitaries at the service.
The remains of late Dame Patricia Aneni being carried into the church for a funeral mass officiated by 3 Catholic bishops and graced by top politicians, including former President Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, Delta State Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, former Governor of Edo State Comrade Adams Oshomole, former Governor of Delta State James Ibori, business mogul Aliko Dangote, and other associates. The Bishop of Catholic Diocese of Uromi, Most Reverend Donatus Ogun, said, "The deceased led an exemplary Christian life, and that those she left behind must realign their lives with God, so that when death comes, people will not struggle to find commendable words to say about them."
This commendation, which is not praise, will serve to remind us that we who are alive should work hard so that good things be said about us.
The body of late Patricia Aneni was later committed to Mother Earth at Chief Tony Aneni's residence amidst tributes from family members.
I think she left us with one important thing, which is to put our trust in God. She was very humble, quiet.
And she was a good example of patience, perseverance, and endurance.
Some associates of Chief Tony Aneni, who came to commiserate with him, described the deceased as a mother to all, who will be greatly missed.
I want to encourage them that Matras lived a very good life.
Take heart and to live by those things she taught them.
Mommy lived a worthy life. Late Dame Patricia Aneni died on Easter Sunday in London at the age of 75 and left behind her husband, Chief Tony Aneni, and 5 children.
Her gentle soul rest in perfect peace. Amen. So far, so good on Newsline tonight. Thanks for staying on the line. Next week, another show date. Be right here when we come back. is wishing you the best during the week. For now, good night and God bless Nigeria.